So the cheapest range is due an MOT, but the question is, will it pass? I fixed quite a lot of things on it, which I'm going to go through, but there is a big issue with this. I bought it knowing it most likely has a dodgy MOT because it was pissing oil quicker than you could put it in. The ABS light was taped over, and you might be asking, why did you buy the car then? Well, I already sold the Volvo by then and I needed a car. So, and this one was the cheapest, and me being cheap, I just bought it. Well, how did I figure out why did I not scan the car before I bought it to make sure it doesn't have any check engine lights? Well, I forgot to bring my OBD scanner with me. Rookie mistake, I know. So I bought it anyway. And 2 days after, literally it was 2 or 3 days, the car was just undrivable, constantly going into limp mode. So then I got plugged into my scanner, and then I realized loads of things wrong with it, so which was fun. And I figured out quite early that it's got taped over ABS light because it was skidding so much. Literally, you put your foot on the throttle, because it has so much torque, you could just spin the rear wheels. And a fun fact about these are the last Ford Rangers that came with an LSD as standard. Do what you want with that information, but it's quite cool. I knew the car needed tyres, that's why it was cheap, marked cheaper. But those tyres, I wanted something better. So those tyres in that size for them rims there's not much choice. There's not much choice. And me being cheap, I found these wheels with tyres for 450 quid. So they went straight on. So I fixed the ABS fault with a 1-speed sensor on the back. That was quite easy to do. And there was a thread wire. So fix that, that was dead easy to fix. You know, it took me like half an hour to do. All that was done. But the limp mode was related to the intercooler. So once you put your foot down, obviously there was somewhere a micro crack on the intercooler. I'll flick the pictures on the screen. And obviously you lost boost pressure and you went into limp mode, so obviously no boost, and you were literally crawling, you would barely make 60 miles an hour. But new intercooler, 80 quid later, all was sorted. So I was like, oh great, car's running, you know. Drove it for about a month, smoke from the exhaust. I was like, fuck, what now? It's like, I should have listened to people not telling me not to buy it. So I started investigating everyone. Literally everyone on the forum said, oh yeah, with that mileage, you're looking at a new engine. These engines are well known to be going bad. So like everyone's actually master genius at, like everyone's a master mechanic. So I was like, no way, the car feels fine, it's just smoking a bit. So me being me, started tearing it apart. I knew there was an oil leak, so I started investigating that. I was like, oh, I'll fix the simple things and I'll go through that. So I found it was the rocker cover gasket. So that was quite simple. But on these engines, you have to pull out the injectors. The washers on the injectors were a bit crusty. They weren't sealing properly, and one injector had loads of like carbon buildup on it. So while I was replacing the cam cover gasket, I cleaned the injectors, put new washers on it, new leak-off pipes, full service, oil, fuel filter and everything. And guess what? Car was fixed and I didn't need a new engine. Just proves you can't trust what people say on forums. Everyone will just scaremonger you into random shit. While I was pulling the injectors and the cam cover replacement, I was like, I was scoping around, I might as well take this off, might as well take that off. And I took the intake off and it was so gunked up. I knew these engines got a problem with the EGR being a bit lazy and obviously gunking up everything. So I took it off, jet washed it out, cleaned it up, and I cleaned the EGR, cleaned it. Yeah, so I cleaned the EGR. So there's that. So I fixed the oil leak, fixed the intercooler, fixed the smoke because that was because of the injectors. And everything was fine. Everything was fine for about 2 months. 2 months. And guess what? DPF blocked. I was like, great, one thing after another. So, new DPF is about 800 quid. I was like, not paying that. To get it cleaned by someone else, about 300 quid. Not paying that. Me being cheap, as you saw in the previous video there, fixed it for, what was it, 19 quid for the product? Sorted. So I think I got the tyres after, yeah, I think I got the tyres just a few days before the DPF. So I was like, oh, I just bought the expensive tyres, wheels and tyres, then I'm have to spend so much money on more stuff. Clean the DPF. I was like, the MOT is coming, so I probably should start to, you know, make sure everything's working. So I did another service after the DPF cleaning, you know, to make sure everything's fine. So as you remember, I obviously had a beacon on my roof. I was like, every time it rained, the car was just like so musky inside. I was like, oh fucking hell, it's got to be this beacon. Obviously, it was a beacon. Took it off, put some plate underneath it, and I just JB welded it, shut all the holes. Car's fine. So the car was not smoking, had new wheels and tires. You had all the power, no check engine lights, ABS was working fine. But I'm still worried that it won't pass MOT because I'm not a mechanic. I'm not sure if everything's fine on it. It feels great to drive, it's fine, you know, it runs. Only two things that are a bit concerning on it is the alignment, which I need to get it done, but it's nothing major. It's just, you have to pause to the left a bit, so you have to counter steer to the right, which is not a big deal. And going into first while it's cold, it's sometimes a bit difficult, so you have to go to second and then back to first while still stationary, and then it's fine. Once the gearbox warms up, it's shifting normal. That's the only things that I'm worried about, but obviously I don't know about the emissions. The car obviously had a dodgy MOT before because it literally passed like 4 days before I bought it, and it was pissing oil like a sieve. So we'll find out tomorrow. Car's going for MOT for tomorrow, and I'll check up on you then. It's going to be a fun one. So another thing is, I knew this tail light had a tiny crack into it. It was literally like 2 centimeters big. Obviously it's been getting cold, and obviously water must have got into it, and it froze and made the crack bigger, and there's also water in the top of it. I'm hoping the MOT guy won't spot that. Another thing, the canopy, the lock broke, and I just got a piece of string to open it, which is not ideal, but I don't think that's an MOT failure. So when I bought it, the headlights were so yellow. When you turn the headlights on, you were like driving with candle lights, so obviously I polished them. They might need the polishing again, but it literally takes like 30 seconds with the K2 product. Because I can't be asked clear coating them, so I just always polish them once in a while. This polish lasted about, almost 6 months. And it's end of winter now, so he's been doing quite fine. Other than that, it's been pretty much smooth sailing. There's a few bulbs that went out I've replaced, but nothing major. Drives fine, runs fine. But I don't know, I'm just still a bit worried because I've did all the work myself and I don't trust myself 100%. But we'll find out tomorrow morning. Put your guesses in the comments. Guess what? It passed. And with no advisories. So I'm actually surprised there's no advisories. There's slight oil leak coming from like the bell housing area on the engine. But he said, yeah, runs and drives spot on. So I was like, okay, great. So only thing to really do on it is sort out gearbox, why it's difficult to go into first, and the tracking. I think that's pretty much it that's wrong with it. But yeah, I'm actually quite surprised it passed first time, no problem, not even a single advisory. So I'm actually really happy with myself that I've managed to fix it from what it was. So let me know what you thought, and then leave a like, leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next one.